From BBC Learning English, this is Learning English from the News, our podcast about the news headlines.
In this programme, 400 million people to attend the world's largest religious gathering, Kumbh Mela. Hello, I'm Phil.
And I'm Georgie.
In this programme, we look at one big news story and the vocabulary in the headlines that will help you understand it.
You can find all the vocabulary and headlines from this episode, as well as a worksheet on our website, bbclearningenglish.com.
So, let's hear more about this story.
The Kumbh Mela Festival, the largest religious gathering in the world, has begun in the northern Indian city of Prayagraj.
400 million people are expected to attend throughout the 45-day period, authorities say. The festival can be seen from space.
The Hindu festival is held once every 12 years, but this year is particularly significant because of a rare alignment between the Sun, the Moon and Jupiter, which happens only once every 144 years.
And our first headline is about this. India's Maha Kumbh Mela festival gets underway for first time in 144 years, and that's from The Guardian.
Okay, let's hear that again. India's Maha Kumbh Mela festival gets underway for first time in 144 years, and that's from The Guardian.
We're looking at this phrase, underway, which is a bit strange, isn't it?
Yes, we know the words under and way, but when we put them together, they have a whole new meaning.
Underway means that something begins or has begun. It's in progress. The headline here says the festival gets underway. If something has got underway, then it means it has started.
Yes, and another example, this podcast episode is already underway. It's begun.
Underway most commonly comes after the verbs be or get. Think about it like this. If something is underway, it's already happening. But if we say something gets underway, we're talking about the start of the process.
For example, after weeks of delays, the construction project on my roof is finally underway. It's happening.
We've had underway, in progress.
For example, the wedding ceremony will get underway as soon as all the guests have arrived.
This is Learning English from the News, our podcast about the news headlines. Today, we're talking about the Maha Kumbh Mela festival in India.
The first day of the festival, the 13th of January, was foggy and the water was freezing cold.
But this didn't stop more than 15 million people from bathing in the sacred river Ganges.
The crowd included holy men and millions of Hindu pilgrims from India and all around the world.
Police struggled to manage the moving crowds at the festival on Tuesday as thousands managed to come into an arena meant for the holy men.
Our next headline describes the scene on day one of the festival. It's from Reuters and it says, India's Maha Kumbh festival sees 15 million people take holy dip on first day.
That headline again, India's Maha Kumbh festival sees 15 million people take holy dip on first day. And that's from Reuters.
And we're looking at the word dip. People take a holy dip. Phil, what can you tell us?
Well, the most general use of dip is to lower something into liquid quickly. Think about dipping bread in soup or dipping a biscuit in tea. You don't leave it in there long or it'll break and disintegrate.
That's right. Or if you dip your toe into hot bath water. So that's a verb, but in the headline we see it as a noun. People take a dip.
Yes, if you take a dip, you lower yourself into water briefly and then take yourself out. It's often used for swimming in natural water like a lake, a river or the sea.
Yes, so the Hindus take a dip in the river. They go in quickly and come out, presumably because the water is cold and because there are so many people trying to get in.
We have take a dip, but another common expression is go for a dip. For example, it's so hot in the sun, I'm just going to go for a quick dip in the sea.
We've had dip, a brief swim.
For example, after hiking all day, a dip in the lake felt amazing.
This is Learning English from the News, our podcast about the news headlines. Today, we're talking about the millions of people who have gathered for the Kumbh Mela festival.
The festival is based on a mythological story about a fight between the gods and demons over a container of nectar which spilt into the river.
When Hindus bathe in the water, they believe it will cleanse them of sins and purify their soul.
There are 6 important dates to bathe during the 45-day festival, based on the alignment of specific planets and constellations.
And our next headline is about this. It's from the Indian Express. Kumbh Mela Explained, its mythology, history, astrology, and why millions flock to it.
That headline again, Kumbh Mela Explained, its mythology, history, astrology, and why millions flock to it. And that's from the Indian Express.
This time we're looking at the word flock. Now, when I hear flock, I imagine a flock of sheep or a flock of birds. It's one of those nouns for groups of animals.
Yes, but here it's used as a verb. Millions of people flock to the festival. It means to move or gather as a group.
And flock is often followed by to and then a place. Some more examples. The fans flocked to the stadium. The shoppers flocked to the shop for the big sale.
That's right, it's usually about a large group moving to something attractive or important, isn't it?
Exactly. Now, I know an idiom that uses this verb flock. Phil, do you know it?
No, I don't think I do.
The idiom is birds of a feather flock together. It means people with similar interests or characteristics tend to stick together.
We've been looking at flock, move as a group.
For example, all the university students flock to the library before exams.
That's it for this episode of Learning English from the News. We'll be back next week with another news story.
If you've enjoyed this programme, why not test what you've learned using the worksheet on our website, bbclearningenglish.com.
Remember, you can also find us on social media. Just search for BBC Learning English.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.